changing times. So that's what this program is designed to do. Help you be better at the end than you were at the beginning. Now, there's no doubt this is a first of its kind. Hello, my name is Ian Hill. I want to welcome you to Building the Public Sector One Leader at a Time. Along with APWA, we're launching this initiative for one reason and one reason alone. You are important. Your department is important. You see, your department touches every citizen from cradle to grave. You're responsible for the designing, the building, and the maintaining of the infrastructure, the platform, the framework for a community to happen. You know what Plato said? Plato said that there was no greater life lived than that committed to public service. Now, sometimes people think he was talking about volunteerism, but he wasn't. You see, there was no volunteerism back then. He was talking about people like you, people who have dedicated themselves to the betterment of the community, who have put in days, weeks, and years of hard work and energy to building the community. Without your efforts of you and your teammates and the rest of your department, 21st century community couldn't happen. Thousands of kids on a daily basis travel over your roads. Billions of dollars of commerce happens because of the infrastructure that you've created. And 21st century life occurs because of you. You're important. And this program is designed to help you be your best. You see, the key to success of an organization today, organizational leadership capacity. What does that even mean, Ian? That means leadership excellence, not just of formal leaders, but informal leaders. See, we need great leaders at every level of the organization and every nook and cranny of the organization. We need everybody to be able to lead in these changing times. So that's what this program is designed to do. Help you be better at the end than you were at the beginning. Now, there's no doubt this is a first of its kind program. So I really want you to pay attention to this orientation. Take notes, and if you have any questions, send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer. All right, sit back, and over the next few minutes, we're going to give you all the information that you need to participate in, be a part of, and get maximum impact from building the public sector one leader at a time. Let's jump into it. In today's challenging and changing times, any dollars spent on professional development have to have a high level of assurance that there'll be a positive impact. In other words, performance has to get better. Performance has to change. So we had to create a model that was commensurate to the respect and admiration and value that we place in you as a professional. In other words, you're important, and we had to have a program that matched your importance. So we did a lot of research and studying on behavioral change. And you know what we came to the conclusion of? That there was two key aspects to helping people improve their performance. One, 21 days to establish a habit, and two, a blended learning approach. Now, what does that mean? Well, you've heard it before. Behavioral science tells us that it takes 21 to 28 days to establish a habit. That's why passive learning approaches don't work. Now look, you've gone to the workshops, I've gone to the workshops. You've listened to the tapes and read the books, and I've listened to the tapes and read the books. We've done all that. And oftentimes things never change. Why? Because after 7 to 10 days, that information disappears. We go back to our everyday experience and nothing changes. So we knew we had to build a program that would take that into consideration. 21 days to establish a habit. Then the other piece, the other truism of helping someone reach their full potential, blended learning. Some people learn with their ears. Some people learn with their eyes. Some people learn by thinking. Some people learn through dialogue. Some people learn by doing. You got to have that blended learning approach. So we took those two keys, we put them together, and we created a thing called the change continuum. And it is that change continuum that makes this program so unique. Here's how it's going to work. At the beginning of the 21 days, on a Friday, we're going to have a live video streaming session to introduce a competency, introduce a key, a skill, an attribute, a competency. Once we've introduced that in a 1-hour live video streaming session, we are then going to reinforce that for 21 days. How, Ian? Well, on that following Monday morning, you're going to get an email in your inbox. That email will reinforce the material from the Friday. Now, there's some weeks that you might get 1 or 2 emails, maybe even a whole week's worth of emails. They'll always be short, they'll always be concise, but they're meant to reinforce the learning. Then the following Monday, you'll get another reinforcement email that takes the competency that we introduced and unpacks it to a greater degree. And they'll always be in that blended learning approach. In other words, there'll be some text, there'll be some video, there might even be an exercise. Halfway through that 21 days, we're going to have a live coaching session. Now, what does that mean? That means I'm going to be available to you for an hour. You're going to be able to call in your question. You're going to be able to Twitter in your question. You're going to be able to chat box or instant message in your question. You're even going to be able to video upload your question that you put in advance. And then I'm going to answer your questions live. In other words, you might have tried one of the concepts that we introduced and now you want some feedback. Hey, Ian, this didn't work. Or, hey, Ian, I've got this situation. And I'm available to support you for an hour. Then the following Monday, we reinforce again. And then at the end of the 21 days, the 22nd day, we introduce the new competency. 21 days to establish a habit in a blended learning approach is the key to your professional development. Why? Because it's the key to behavioral change. And that's why it's so much different than everything else you've ever done. Yeah, but I don't have time for that. The beauty of this is you can follow along or you can do it on your own, because everything that I just described is housed on a learning portal, the learning portal that you have access to 24/7, 365. And you will have access to it all the way through to the end of 2014. Think about that. So if you miss something, it'll all be on the portal. Deleted an email, it's on the portal. Couldn't watch that video, it's on the portal. Available to you on any device, at any time, at any place, as long as you have an internet connection. The change continuum helps us know and helps ensure you to feel confident that behavioral change will occur. All right, for all of those cool things to happen, we had to have a platform for it to occur. In today's day and age, people want to learn what they want to learn, when they want to learn it, on the platform they want to learn it on. If you're a department going through the program, you may be gathering as a group and taking the live video stream and pushing it up on a wall. If you're an individual participating, you might be sitting at your computer. Or you might be watching an archive on your smartphone or on your tablet. You could do all of that. You're even going to be able to take and access an MP3 file if you wanted to and listen to it as you're jogging on a treadmill, or put it on a CD and listen to it in your car. All of that will be available to you. But for those cool things to happen, there has to be a platform for you to be able to access the information. We call that the learning portal. Well, where's the learning portal? Well, go to your browser. You can see it behind me and up on the screen. You go to Google or you go to Yahoo or whatever. You're going to type in buildingthepublicsector.org. The learning portal is at buildingthepublicsector.org. And you can see it coming up on your screen there. And as we scroll down, you've probably been to this web page, buildingthepublicsector.org. This is your learning portal. Now, as we scroll back up and you look to the upper right-hand corner, you'll see where it says username, password. You got to have a username and password. How do you create your username and password? You go to signup.buildingthepublicsector.org, signup.buildingthepublicsector.org. And when you get there and scroll down, you'll be able to create your username and password. Now, it's really, really important that if you're a department going through the program, that everyone have their own username and password. If everyone has their own username and password, then they'll be able to all get the emails every Monday morning or every time we send out an email. They'll be able to submit their assignments. They'll be able to fully participate in the program. If you're a department that every participant doesn't have an email address, contact us and we'll be able to give you some strategies and some ideas of how we can get those people to fully participate. Each track, executive leaders, mid-level leaders, and frontline, each track has distinct information just for those tracks. It is very much customized into each one of those stakeholder groups with information that's relevant to them specifically. So we want each one of them, each one of the participants in each one of those tracks to have their own username and passwords. So it's critical. It also helps us on the accountability side of things, right? We know who's entering the portal. We know assignments that are being turned in. We know if someone is watching a video or not, so that we can support those individuals. And if you're an executive leader, that way we can report back to you of who's participating and who's not. So to recap, the learning portal is at buildingthepublicsector.org. And in the upper right-hand corner is where you'll always enter by putting in your username and password. To create your username and password, you go to signup.buildingthepublicsector.org. You put in your name, you put in your email address, you create your screen name, you click submit. When you click submit, you're going to get a confirmation email into your inbox. That confirmation email into your inbox, if you don't get it right away, check your junk email. Check your junk email. It may have dropped into that. You click the link and then you'll be all set up. If for some reason you don't get that confirmation email, then send us an email to the email address that you have at the bottom of your screen. tech@buildingthepublicsector.org. tech@buildingthepublicsector.org, and just tell us, hey, I registered and I created my username and password. I haven't gotten an email back. And then Stephanie or Gina or somebody on our team will take care of your needs right away. So that's how we can get into the learning portal. Now let's take a look at the learning portal once you get inside. So you've created your username and password and you're ready to go inside the portal. So let's take you on a tour of the various components of the portal. So you go to buildingthepublicsector.org. When you've gotten to buildingthepublicsector.org, and you can see that coming up on your screen now, you would put in your username and password up in the upper right-hand corner. Once you've put in your username and password, you'll be able to enter the portal. Now, when you've entered the portal, and we're showing you a previous portal right now, because when you enter the portal, obviously it won't be populated because the program hasn't started. But eventually, this is what it'll look like. Once you're in the portal, the main video box will always have the last video. In other words, the latest video that was archived. Whenever you have a live teaching session, it'll happen in that main video box. All of the videos, all of the teachings, and all of the coachings are archived. Here's an example of when you pull up an archive video. It'll pop up in the box and you'll be able to watch it. So all the teaching and all the coaching sessions will be available in that archive mode. Then all of the emails that are sent out will be archived. And you're seeing an example of an email there on your screen. So if you delete one of the emails, if you can't find it in your inbox, it's always available to you. All the handouts are available as well. All of the teaching sessions and all of the coaching sessions will also be available in MP3 format. Now, what would you do with that? Well, some participants in past programs have taken the MP3 file, put it on their iPhone or put it on their MP3 player, or put it on a CD and they can listen to it in their commute to work, or they can listen to it while they're working out. We're trying to give you every single opportunity to access the information when you want, where you want, how you want. Now, in addition to all of that, we wanted to create an opportunity for all of the various departments at all of the various levels all across North America and beyond to communicate with one another. We call that the forum. Now, that forum will be a platform for the dynamic exchange of information. You can talk to me, you can talk to other participants. You could ask a question of other participants. Now stop and think about this. There'll literally be thousands of public work professionals and communities large and small, and departments and agencies large and small. If we can get you connected and sharing ideas, think about the exponential improvement that could occur. Take advantage of the forum. I always say this: connect, share, impact. Where does that happen? In that forum. So again, the learning portal. That's where you'll access the live video streaming. That's where all of the live video streaming sessions will be archived for on-demand viewing. That's where all the emails will be housed. That's where all of the handouts and materials will be housed. And that's where that forum for the dynamic exchange of information amongst participants, where you can connect, share, and impact, will occur as well. All on the learning portal. Pretty cool, huh? So now we've talked about why we're doing the program. We've talked about how we're going to do the program, the change continuum, 21 days to establish a habit, blended learning approach. And we've talked about the platform we're going to do the program through, how we get in it, and its various components. But what are we going to learn? This is critical. 3 distinct tracks: an executive leader track, a mid-level track, and a frontline track. The information that will go through those tracks of learning are the leadership approaches we believe the times require. There's no doubt we're in changing times, and there's no doubt that the autocratic leadership approach of the past won't be effective today. Society has changed. There's also no doubt that the key in the 21st century to having an effective organization is organizational leadership capacity. Now, what does that mean? That means leadership excellence throughout the organization. There's formal leaders and informal leaders. There's a whole bunch of people without titles that are out there leading, good and bad. And there's a whole bunch of people with titles that are out there leading, good and bad. When organizational leadership capacity is high, great things happen. When it's low, well, you can figure it out. So in each track, we're going to teach the leadership competencies that we believe the times require. Now, what's a competency? It's a complex set of skills, attributes, attitudes, and qualities that make somebody great at a certain thing. And the thing is leading. It's not vocationally competent, it's leadership competent, both formal and informal leaders. So in each one of those tracks, we're going to teach 5 competencies that are specific to that stakeholder group. Yeah, but I noticed on the website they all have the same name. Yeah, because the underlying foundational principles are the same. Everyone's singing off the same song sheet. But within each one of those tracks, information, tools, meaningful information, and relevant tools that are specific to that level of leadership. Frontline, leading myself. Mid-level, leading others. Executives, the big picture and leading within my organization and its 4 walls, and leading outside of it. That's the simplicity of it all. Now, if you want to know specifically the learning outcomes for each one of the competencies in each one of the tracks, it's all listed on the website. It says session descriptions and learning outcomes, and it's all there for you to take in. But the basic fundamental is this: you're important, your department is important. When leadership capacity is high, great things happen. When it's low, not so much. So we want to increase the leadership capacity of the organization, one formal or informal leader at a time. Let's discuss the technical requirements of the program. First of all, be proactive. Let's be proactive. Before the first teaching session, do the following. 1, check to make sure you have high-speed internet. Well, how can I do that? Go to the learning portal, put in your username and password, and look at the video that's in the box. It'll be a replay of this video, but at least you'll be able to check. Well, what's the requirement? 1 megabit download. If you have 1 megabit download, which most agencies and departments have, you'll be just fine. That'll be more than enough. It's actually 300 kilobits, but 1 megabit download, you'll be fine. But if you're in an outlying area of a department, or maybe your unit doesn't have Internet Explorer, the newest level of Internet Explorer or Firefox or whatever, you might have a challenge. So check it now. Be proactive. There's 3 platforms that we stream from. So you want to make sure your IT department allows that through the firewall. 1, ustream.tv. 2, make sure my email address is allowed. So ian@thechangingpoint.com. And then finally, the archive videos rest on vidler.com. So ustream.tv, got to be allowed through your firewall. Ian@thechangingpoint.com, allowed through your firewall. And then vidler.com, allowed through your firewall. Those 3 things allowed through your firewall, no challenge. But be proactive. Make sure your IT department knows about it. So the simplicity of the technical requirements. 1, megabit download. 2, be proactive. Those 3 sites that you see on the screen there, those 3 allowed through your firewall. And then finally, test the system beforehand by going into the portal, making sure that the audio and video you're able to see and access. What if you run into a challenge? Go and send an email to the email address you see at the bottom of the screen, tech@buildingthepublicsector.org, so that if you have some unique challenges, we can work with you and your IT department. But do me a huge favor. Do that long before the first broadcast. You've looked at the schedule. You know when the first broadcast is, so do this stuff proactively. So you don't have stress, we don't have stress, and we know that you're prepared. That's the simplicity of the technical requirements. My belief in the importance of the public sector and the value of public work specifically was not an automatic. I didn't come to that right away in life. I was just one of those John Q. Public guys that, turned on the water and the water ran, and drive on a road and it was great, and snow got cleared and I didn't think twice about it. Went to a park and it was clean, and I didn't really think about those things. But as I had success in life, as I got more and more involved in community, first my own community and then communities all across North America and beyond. And when I started then to dedicate my life to the betterment of community and the betterment of my fellow man, I came to the realization that you were important. I came to the realization, as I did an exploration of history, that the one key and constant and consistent of all great societies was a great public sector. Now, truth be told, in today's day and age, it's really, it's almost good sport to bash the public sector. I don't think that does us any good, because I know your importance and your value and how important and critical you are. Not only you and your department, but infrastructure. Without the infrastructure, quality infrastructure, we can't have a thriving community. So this program has set out to build the public sector one person at a time. Now, as Pollyannish and as naive as that sounds, I believe it, because I've seen it over and over again. I've seen how one guy or one gal in an apartment or in a group, one guy out on a crew, one girl in 5 cubicles, whatever, can turn things around. Well, imagine if we can rally thousands of people all across North America in this sector and rally them to step up to their vital and important role, or help those who are already doing that to step to the next level. That's what this program's about. How are you going to participate? You got to create your username and password, signup.buildingthepublicsector.org. You go in, you check your system. If there's any problems, email us, tech@buildingthepublicsector.org, and we'll troubleshoot and we'll help you. Then you're going to participate and take full advantage of the program. We're here to support you. live video streaming, archive videos, emails, MP3 files, the forum for the dynamic exchange of information so you can share with your counterparts across North America, all combining to provide you the support you need to be your best. But understand why we're doing this. Understand that there's a 4-year-old little boy counting on the fact that there's clean water and a safe road, not just today for him, but in the future. Or the senior on a fixed income, or the young family. See, cumulatively, we impact all of them. And not just the citizen of today, but a citizen of the future. Now, I'm not saying people understand that. I'm not saying that people will champion your cause. I'm not even saying that your neighbor knows the work that you do and how important and vital it is. But I know it, and you know it. So we got to be our best, because thousands of citizens are counting on us to do so. Thank you for participating in the program. Thank you for being a part. We're fully and 100% committed to making it as impactful as it can be for you. I hope you'll give the same level of commitment. We look forward to working with you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Take care, everybody, and thank you for being a part.